meetings. Our parents, teachers, staff, and community stakeholders have been extremely supportive and engaged throughout this entire budget season. Thank you. In order to follow through on our commitments to you, it has been imperative that you walk through this journey with us. This budget season has continually challenged us to ask ourselves, how can we ensure that our schools get the dollars that they need based upon the limited resources that we have available? Even though it will be a challenge to find additional dollars to cut in an already underfunded school system, I believe that we will still be able to deliver a budget that meets the needs of all of our students. We are still confident that our focus on equity will be met and it will have a positive impact on the performance of our school district as a whole. Upon receiving our budget announcement from Mayor Browley, Dr. Joseph and his leadership team began to look closely at areas in which to align our budget to the dollars allocated to us. The total budget allocated to MNPS falls short of what we need in order to avoid making tough reductions. It is our hope that the revisions will protect classroom resources and minimize disruptions inside our classrooms. Our incredible teachers worked diligently to ensure that our students made impressive academic progress this year. Despite the challenges, I am confident that our revised budget will allow them to maintain that momentum in the coming school year. We are here today for the purpose of presenting to you a revised budget. Last week, we presented to you a general overview of our strategic plan, which drives our budgeting. The purpose of that presentation was to help our community to understand mandatory costs and items included in our original budget, to discuss our priorities, and to discuss possible areas to reduce. Once Dr. Joseph has presented the revised budget, I will open the floor for our board to ask questions, and then we will conclude. The board will vote on the budget at the May 22nd budget meeting. We will then present our revised budget to Metro Council on May 23rd. At this time, I will yield the microphone to Dr. Joseph.
Well, thank you, Ms. Hunter. We have had a great school year this school year, and I really want to thank each board member for your commitment and engagement during this budget season. We've had great conversations that have been focused on what our students need to strive in our schools, and we have spent countless hours listening to constituents, including our students, to propose a budget that continues to move us towards our journey on our journey towards excellence. As I have shared, when we look at the key performance indicators that the board has established to evaluate our school district, we can celebrate the fact that our reading and math performance are improving in all grade levels for all students, with the exception of 5th grade math. And I have the slide up front, but I believe people in the audience, you should have a copy of this as well. Just the green hours show where we're up and where we're down. We should feel good about the fact that more students are regularly attending school and fewer students are being suspended. Our challenges continue to be that more of our students are getting expelled and more of our students have been sent to alternative schools in this current year. You know, one of my favorite pastimes is playing a card game called Spades. And when you play spades, sometimes you get a good hand, and sometimes you get a hand that you just want to throw in because you don't have much to deal with. And I am sure this was the case for Mayor Browley when he looked at the budget outlook and he got the hand that he was dealt this year. He had one of those hands that was hard to count, and he had to try to figure out what he had to do to ensure that he can just get through this hand. The good news in any spades game is that once that hand's out, you get a new hand, and you get to start fresh. But you must play the hand that you are dealt. As such, he did what he could to provide us with a $5 million increase of our budget from last year's budget. Now, due to mandatory costs, we're required to align our budget by reducing $17 million in expenses from our current budget. I'm proud tonight to present to you and the public a revised budget that I believe will continue to move us forward on the goals that have been communicated through our strategic plan. This revised budget continues to prioritize our school's culture, climate, and SEL work, while also strengthening our commitment to equity and access for all students. So I clicked and moved to the next slide that I have here, which talks about our system coherence structure. And again, you should have a copy of this in the audience. And if you don't, raise your hand, and we will make sure you get a copy. And we have side A and side B. So side A reflects the plan that we're working from currently. As I have communicated, and as you know, the board and I, over the course of the past 2 years, really have worked hard to develop and begin executing on a strategic plan. And that strategic plan is pretty clear. We have 4 areas of focus: our students, our people, our organization, and our community. Within those 4 strategic areas, we have high-level strategies and 44 actions that we are enacting on under our students, 3 high-level strategies and 38 actions for our people, 2 high-level strategies and 31 actions for our organization, and 2 high-level strategies and 17 actions for our community. The board worked tirelessly with our administration to establish key performance indicators, essentially allowing the district to understand, so what is it that we care about, and how are we going to move towards executing on our goals. And when you look at that bottom area, we identified 7 priority areas: curriculum, instruction, and assessment, organizational development and effectiveness, equity and access, performance management and operational efficiency, family and community engagement, college and career readiness, and 7th, school culture and climate. With our current budget, under each one of those areas, you see these are all the things that we have been doing this year, which have resulted in us improving in mathematics and reading at a rate faster than the nation. These are the reasons we're reducing our suspensions and we're increasing the number of students going to school. It's because all of these things that we have been doing and investing in are clearly making a difference. So the challenge we had this year, and one that we have believe we've risen to the challenge to do, is to ensure that while we realign our budget, we don't lose ground. So we are recommending a budget tonight that we believe will continue our effort to move forward in the work that we're doing. So if you flip your paper over to Plan B, Plan B communicates because, you know, organizations that move forward and are effective move forward because they never deviate from their plan. They just have to refine working on the plan based upon the dollars that they receive. And one of the things that you have heard me say continuously is that to accelerate, we need an accelerant, but even with no accelerant, we'll get better because we'll just continue to focus with what we have. But when you need to remove $17 million from a budget, it will have an impact. And one of the things I'd like to do now is talk to you about the impact. But before I do that, I want to talk to you about the opportunities we have, because within any budget, it is a priorities statement. And I hear Ms. Shepard saying that often, that our budget should reflect our priorities. And she's clear about that, and she's clear about pushing us to make sure that we align our dollars to our priorities based upon, you know, what we can do. So one of the priorities that we have had in this year in this budget, and we talked about as we moved from with our original budget, was to ensure that we continue to build school culture and climate, and we focus on social emotional learning. We said that many of our students come to our schools with challenges, and they need tools to be able to address those challenges. So this budget that we are proposing does that in a number of ways. First, we will add 6 college and career counselors at Pearl Cone High School, Glencliff High School, Maplewood High School, Stratford High School, Whites Creek High School, and we actually have just partnered with the Ayers Foundation to add a 5th school at Overton High School next year. In addition, we're going to increase to 4 social emotional learning specialists to support families and students with non-learning needs so that academic progress can continue. We want to add 20 new elementary schools to receive chronic absence case management to intercept and support students in their critical times. And we also want to add 6 community achieve specialists to give families access to resources that are going to help them in their day-to-day living and provide a great opportunity for success in schools. And as we continue to focus on equity, and when we talk about equity, once again, we talk about how do we get kids what they need in their buildings. We are committed to preserving school choice and enhancing local student-based budget formulas so parents have options to choose the best option for their child and unique needs. And more specifically, we want to make sure that we continue with our commitment of adding more dollars for special education and ELL services because we know that they have been historically woefully underfunded. We also plan on adding full-time community and business engagement, a full-time community and business engagement specialist to connect students with the best community resources and to collaborate with business leaders to strengthen our public-private partnerships. One of the things that we have been talking about extensively is the fact that government can't do this alone, that if we're going to really have a plan that we can stick to and move forward on, then it takes government, business, and the community to rally around a strategic funding plan. So we don't go from year to year wondering if we can do things and if we can't, that we have a plan and we find ways to collectively fund and execute on it. So in a moment, I'm going to have Dr. Tony Majors come up, and he's going to talk about the social emotional learning investments that we have made because we are going to commit about $2 more million to social emotional learning than we had in this current year, and we think those dollars are going to make a huge difference in our work. Again, not as much as we had planned on doing, but we feel enough to take a step forward in this budget time. As we look at where the reductions will come from, we are eliminating 30 central office positions, and that is going to impact nearly every department in this district. We have restructured central office staff. That has already been planned, but those cost savings will be realized. We're going to move 3 charter school positions to a special revenue account for services to charter schools. As a result of beginning next year, the law changed, and we're allowed to collect an authorization fee, and we'll use that fee to offset what's happening in that office so we can take the cost of that office off of our operating budget. We're going to reduce spending in general expenses, specifically our contract, supplies, materials, and travel. In terms of the pause of new innovative programs and making data-driven changes, we're going to stop funding reimbursement of exam fees for our high school students that take advanced academics and college credits or exams leading to industry certifications, and this is painful. I mean, I think this is something that was a game changer for many of our students. It was costly because when we started paying for people, we doubled the amount of students that were actually participating, but in difficult times, that was one of the most painful changes in this current budget. Also, we need to scale back the implementation of our STEAM initiative in the middle schools. I mean, we've had people from around the country come and look at the work that's been happening with science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics in our 18 schools. We had planned to expand to 10, but now we're going to be in a holding pattern with those 18 schools because we just don't have the funds to fully implement and execute at the level we'd like to execute. And our position is, if you can't do it well, don't do it. Just focus on improving what you have. So STEAM will not be originally expanded as planned, and those 10 schools will be in a planning year next year. So we'll work with our existing staff to get them maybe opportunities to visit some of the schools and begin planning as we move towards. And also, we're going to repurpose those 85.5 reading recovery positions, which we have discussed, including 81.5 reading recovery teachers, 4 teacher leaders, and the director of interventions. We have included the stipends for teachers who choose positions in a high priority school, so that those dollars do remain in this budget proposal that we have. But at this time, I'm going to call Dr. Tony Majors up. He's going to talk to you about what SEL looks like, because that is one of the biggest investments that we're making moving into next year's budget. Then we will turn it over to Mr. Henson, who will walk you through the numbers of the budget, and we'll open up for comment.
So first of all, good afternoon. Dr. Joseph mentioned Basically, the revised budget that we're presenting to you tonight allows us to continue and honor our commitment to the expansion of social-emotional learning in our school system and the implementation of the multi-tiered systems of support model. Many of the positions that Dr. Joseph referenced as being added through either operating budget funding or title funding are the frontline employees that provide direct services and support to our students, their families, as well as our teachers and administrators. So on the screens before you, I'm sorry I did not give you a printout of this, is basically we're showing what the investment priorities are for next school year in the operating budget, as well as some of the title funding sources. So the three areas where we are leveraging our investment is in SEL expansion, college and career counselors, and expansion of the Community Achieves initiative. And basically, as when I presented to you before, I really talked about the interdependency of all these positions. So we are going to continue to use the multi-tiered MTS, multi-tiered systems of support model to realign the practice and operational aspects of many existing staff. That includes counselors, moving to the National Schools Counseling Standards, our psychologists, providing more direct services to students in addition to some of their testing responsibilities. We were able to retain all 45 social workers that are in this year's operating budget. We are adding, as Dr. Joseph mentioned, 6 college and career counselors. 5 of those counselors will go into Title I qualifying high schools, and he did identify those schools, as well as the Ayers Institute investment. Those will be 12-month positions. One of the things that we heard from our students is that oftentimes during the summer, after school is out, they do not have the support to finish the process of moving from a high school graduate on to a first-year college student. So we are making those 12-month positions. Under the area of social and emotional learning, we are building out the quadrant-based SEL specialist structure. This will be a Title IIA funding investment because 100% of their time will be spent providing professional development in the areas of restorative practices, along with our restorative specialists, SEL foundations, trauma, implicit bias, as well as PBIS. We will also continue through the operating budget our 4 restorative specialists, so we're able to retain that in the budget, as well as our comp trainers who provide classroom management training to our staff. The one thing that we were not able to honor in this budget request, we had requested 2 additional behavior analysts based on need. We are going to hold that, but we will still have 1 behavior analyst per cluster in our school system who provide very high-level Tier 3 support for our students, particularly those that are experiencing severe emotional, psychological difficulties and trauma. Our school psychologists, as I mentioned, we have 66.5, and we're able to retain them, and we will be utilizing them more closely to help implement the MTSS structure, but also utilizing our psychologists, as Dr. Joseph referenced. We are really investing in EL and exceptional ed. Our psychologists play a really important role with helping those students as well, so we are able to maintain that. And then the last area in which we are investing would be in the community schools, Community Achieves expansion. We are adding the 4 quadrant-based community engagement specialists. They are going to be funded out of the operating budget. We are continuing with the full-service community schools that we have in the district. We are adding 2 specialists. 1 currently exists. I'm sorry, we're adding 1 specialist, and they will help with the chronic absence case management that Dr. Joseph referenced. We are right now working with federal programs to identify those that are top 20 to 25 elementary schools in terms of percentage and number of students that are truant or chronically absent to make sure that they qualify for us to utilize federal funding to provide the case management. But that is actually the model that we intend to use moving forward. And we know that we have 20 to 25 schools that could definitely benefit from that service. And the one thing I will say about this structure is we're trying to eliminate redundancy. So if we have a community achieve specialist or another person doing similar work, a mental health provider, we're making sure that we spread our capacity so that those 20 schools, we would not have a community achieves manager and a chronic absence case management or a external mental health provider. So we're trying to make sure we expand our scope to meet the services and needs of more of our elementary schools. And in a nutshell, that is what we're proposing today.
Any questions for Dr. Majors? He had an appointment that I know he needed to leave for, so I told him if he would come up early in this presentation.
Just one. Could we have a copy of this?
Yes, ma'am. I can email it. Okay. I can email it to David.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right. Thank you.
Okay, so again, $2 million additional dollars for SEL. And we'll have Mr. Henson come up now and walk us through the specifics of the budget and the budget realignment.
Thank you, Dr. Joseph, and good afternoon. You have a copy of the revised draft budget in front of you dated today, May 15th. And as we discussed at our last meeting last week, the areas of focus to make these reductions where we have been spending a lot of our time in lots of discussions, lots of meetings, would be centered around not touching any school-based budget. All of the school budget, individual school budgets are left whole, and so we have not touched any school budget. We have looked at all of our contracts, all of our contracted services, where reductions can be made, where potentially contracts can be eliminated. We have looked at, as Dr. Joseph indicated, some new initiatives that were started this year that had to be put on pause or delayed for a year. We also have looked at central office positions, district-wide positions, and as Dr. Joseph indicated, this document reflects a reduction of 30 central office positions. We've also looked at all of our non-personnel line items to look at materials and supplies, to look at other expenses, and to look at travel, to make reductions virtually throughout the budget in virtually every account within the budget. So if you will turn to the first page, which is document number 1, which again, as you know, is the summary of changes document. Of course, the first thing that you would see would be at the top. There's nothing included here for any pay raise or step increase for any employee. The only thing that we have here, as we've previously discussed regarding compensation, would be the insurance trust increase for our teachers and certificated employees, a 7.9% increase of approximately $6.3 million. And then the certificated pension, which comes to us from the state. All of our teachers and certificated employees are required to be members of the Tennessee Consolidated Retirement System, or the state retirement plan. And there was an increase in the employer contribution rate of approximately 15.2%, which equates to around $4.7 million. Those are the only two items included up above under compensation. We still have, of course, the Fica Savings, which is the savings for the employer when employees choose to have their insurance deducted pre-tax. And we also have our estimation for vacancy and turnover, which we are estimating at approximately $3 million for next year. So we have around $6.4 million included in that section, in the employee compensation section of the budget. We also have approximately $1.7 million for inflationary increases and required expenditures, which basically washes with the 1.7 million savings for the FICA savings. We still have the approximately $14 million for the additional enrollment in charter schools, as well as the increase in the per pupil amount for all students. This is an estimate, and we will be reviewing this number once we have an approved budget and once we have updated student enrollment projections, but this at this point is simply an estimate. I do want to point out that if, for instance, these 1,188 students were to come back into district-run schools, there would be an additional cost. Those students would go to those schools, whatever those schools may be, through the student-based budgeting formula, and so there would be an additional cost if those students remained within the district. And so I didn't want it to appear that this $14 million, if there were a change, that would be cost neutral, or that would not have an additional cost, because there would be a significant cost to the district. A number of the students that attend charter schools attend some of our highest funded schools, and in many cases the per pupil amount through the student-based budgeting formula can be approaching and also at times exceeding the district-wide average per pupil amount, because those schools are funded at such a high level. So I wanted to at least throw that explanation out there, as we've not really discussed that as much this year. We do have the $7.2 million in reduction based upon the decrease in students from the last year's student projections to this year's student enrollment projections. And then at the bottom, we have what we call our proposed changes. The one that remains basically is the $7.2 million, which would be our student-based budgeting formula enhancements to our allocation model. As you remember, that's the majority of that would be for our exceptional education students, increasing the weights for our exceptional education students at approximately $5.2 million. And then we also added to the weight for our English learner students from 21% to 24%, which equated to about a $2 million increase. And so that $7.2 million increase remains under proposed changes, but pretty much everything else is different from the version that the board approved on April 16th. As was mentioned earlier, we are creating a special revenue fund for the authorization fee that will be collected from our charter schools, which is capped at $35,000 per school. So we will be accounting for those funds separately, as would be required by the state, so that we can show how we are spending those funds on our charter school office, as well as other offices throughout the district that deal with charter schools and spend time working on the administration and supervision of charter schools. We also have two positions that are being reduced from the Chief of Academics account, number 2080. We have, as indicated earlier, an elimination of the reimbursements for tests in both our advanced academics area, which would include AP, advanced placement, IB, International Baccalaureate, Cambridge, as well as a little further down under Academies of Nashville, the elimination of reimbursements on tests there for the industry certification exams, et cetera, that previously were funded this year that we are putting a pause on. We also are including, as was included in the previous version that the board approved, the reduction for the decentralization of the Reading Recovery Program. As Dr. Joseph mentioned, the reduction due to the STEAM program of approximately $1.9 million for next year. We do include and are including the stipends for the reading recovery teachers that may choose to teach kindergarten, first and second grade in one of our priority schools, so we do have that included in the budget. And then further down, we have various reductions in the travel lines. We have various reductions throughout the budget in different contracted services lines, and then also just reductions in other positions, in materials and supplies, as well as in other expenses, to get to the number at the bottom of the document, which shows an increase of $5 million from our current budget of $879.3 million to the proposed budget of $884.3 million. This shows a reduction of 111.5 positions throughout the district, and as indicated, an increase of $5 million. So I'll stop there to see if there are any questions on this summary page before we go further into the documents. Any questions on the summary page?
Help me understand, under required additions, district school decrease in students from fiscal year 2018 projections. Is that this current year?
That is the decrease in the projections that were for this current year that were made last year, and the projections that are made right now for next year, because originally there was a projection of an increase in number of students. Since we didn't experience that, the reduction basically is a reduction in the dollars that flow out to schools based on student-based budgeting, because the district and the schools aren't educating the same number of students. They're educating a reduced number of students. So it's basically just based upon the reduction in the projections of numbers of students this year compared to next year.
So does this incorporate the $7.5 million that we were experiencing a shortfall earlier in the year?
Well, that $7.5 million was on the revenue side, and that was state BEP funding that we will not receive for the current year. It's similar. It's not the same exact calculation, but it's similar.
So will that be consolidated at some point? Will you talk about that, how that will, the $7.5 million would be consolidated?
That will be reconciled at the end of the year, and whatever is remaining will just come from fund balance at the end of the year, and that's something that we have been working with Metro Finance, so that when Metro Finance put together the budget ordinance, we gave them what our best estimate of end-of-year revenue and end-of-year expenditures would be, so that they could include that information in the budget ordinance and determine how much additional funding would be needed to make up those different amounts.
Thank you.
And Mr. Henson, once again, can you just clarify that $7.5 million? What happened? Because we just want to make sure we keep reiterating that it wasn't something where it was overspent. That they're just explain what that budget issue was once again, please.
Clarify the year that 7.5 is impacting.
Sure. The $7.5 million is the current fiscal year 17-18. When we were putting our revenue estimates together for Metro Finance back in March of 2017, we had not received the first official estimate of our state BEP funding from the Tennessee Department of Education yet. And so I always have to request a quote-unquote unofficial estimate from them so that I can provide some kind of number to the Metro Finance folks. And when we received our first official estimate of our BEP funding, that was in April, and we received another estimate in May, another estimate in June, and then a final number in July. Well, the difference between the April estimate and the July final number was a reduction of around $2.5 million. So we knew we were already going to be short $2.5 million, and that's based upon information provided to us from the Tennessee Department of Education. In addition, on top of that, we had estimated we receive approximately $5 million in this current year in what's called BEP growth funding, because we had historically over the last 14 to 15 years increased in student enrollment, and our student assignment office had made their student enrollment projections showed us increasing by a like amount. And so there was no reason to believe we wouldn't continue to be growing in student enrollment, because we had been growing for 15 years. They were projecting that we would grow for the next year. So we had included an additional $5 million in the current year in revenue from the state for BEP growth funds, which didn't materialize. And so that's the $7.5 million. It's the current fiscal year, and it's on the revenue side, and it's basically state funding that was estimated back in March and April of last year that we will not receive for this year. Does that help?
Yeah, so then claims of overspending would be inaccurate.
Yeah, it doesn't have anything to do with spending. It's strictly our revenue funding, our revenue stream, that revenue estimate, similar to what Metro is experiencing with the property tax revenue, even though theirs is about $26 million of a shortfall for property tax revenue. It's somewhat similar in the fact that what they estimated and projected for property tax revenue is going to fall short of what they actually estimated. And so it's somewhat similar, but on a lesser scale. What we estimated that we were going to receive in state BEP funding is going to fall short by $7.5 million. Doesn't have anything to do with the spending side. And the reason that it's going to fall short is because we didn't grow in student enrollment like we have and like was projected.
Anna Shepherd would like to answer the question.
Thank you, Chris. I've got a couple questions. About that line on 2080, Chief of Academics, is that something that we had currently but we're not going to have next year?
It is, and it may be a good time just to turn the page, because as you remember, document number 2 reflects all position changes, and so if you have specific questions about any of the positions, they are listed and have been for a number of years, listed on this page on document number 2. And so I'll just go through these briefly to share what's here. The .5, retiree director of student assignment, many of you know Larry Collier. That was Larry Collier's position that he retired, and that position will no longer be continued. There's a reduction. One of the central office position reductions would be a communications specialist. We also have the 3 charter school positions that will be moving to the special revenue fund. We are reducing the 6 120-day retirees that serve on the disciplinary hearing board. That's an equivalent of 3 full-time equivalent positions. The director, these are the two, I believe, Ms. Shepherd, that you were mentioning. The Director of Family and Community Engagement position, which I believe has been unfilled most of the year, as well as the Coordinator of Equity and Diversity. Those two positions that are reflected at the bottom of document number 1. The Reading Recovery teachers, the Reading Recovery teacher leaders, and the Director of Interventions remains from the budget that the board approved back on April 16th. The only difference here is that we have retained 1.5 of the Reading Recovery teacher leaders to provide the needed instructional coaching, and so that those teachers can continue to keep their reading recovery certification. We have an English Learner Assessor and an English Learner Registrar position that's being reduced. If you remember from what was previously presented to you, the 16 truancy specialists will now become at the bottom of the page under positions added, that now become 8 truancy officers. We are reducing 12 family information specialists, 2 furniture repair positions, and 3 maintenance positions. And on the adding side, this mainly is just reorganization in Dr. Major's area. I've already mentioned reducing the 16 truancy specialists to 8 truancy officers, the adding of 4 social and emotional learning SEL specialists, and then the 6 community achieves positions. These all add up to a net decrease or a net reduction of 111.5 positions.
So my second question is, last week when we were talking about the state DOE changing the way that they're funding us through BEP, and that was primarily based on our property reassessments. And so I asked the question as if we have let them know that we're actually going to be seeing a decrease in those assessments instead of an increase. Do we have an answer around that yet?
The answer is that it's they use a 3-year average, and that the most current year that they're using is last year. So anything that would have occurred this year has not gone into play yet, and so it's a 3-year average, with last year being the most current year that's used in that fiscal capacity index calculation.
Thank you.
Mary Pierce, do you have that on the slide for the operating budget, the changes, so that they can see it, or no?
I do not.
Okay, thank you.
But we have copies of
Okay.
copies of the budget documents,
Okay.
and the budget document. This budget document is on our website right now.
Okay, thank you. Mary Pierce.
Thank you. Thanks, Chris, and thanks for such a detailed explanation, especially around the charters, because I've had people hear board members say that we could maybe give state raises and employee raises if we didn't have to make that allocation. It's just simply not true. So thank you for clearing that up. And then also, I wanted to ask, going back to the revenue part, what we just talked about, the 7.5, even though that was in this current fiscal year. Given our uncertainty with the enrollment and with the city of Nashville seeing gentrification, seeing people move out, neighborhoods change, what steps are we taking to kind of have a little cushion in case this were to happen again next year for this budget?
Well, the enrollment projections that were used for next year were scaled back based upon this information, and so I believe that it's basically a flat projection, maybe just a very slight increase, but nothing that we have had in years past where we've increased anywhere from 1,200 to an additional 1,800 students. It's basically, the projection is basically a flat enrollment. As I said, maybe a slight increase. But so this particular year weighed heavily on all of the data that's used in calculating, that our Student Assignment Office calculates student enrollment projections.
Then we'll just be checking in on those day 20 and day 40 counts?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Jill Spearing.
When you say a slight increase, can you put a number with that?
I believe the kindergarten through 12th grade increase number is around 300. I believe but 300 out of 86,000 I would consider probably flat. But I believe that's the number that they've been using.
And the back on document 1, there is a under vacancies turnover for $3 million. About how many positions is that?
don't know off the top of my head. It's mainly a historical calculation of what we have seen. We have really scaled this number back. We have used a higher number in the past, but we have not seen that. And I believe a lot of that credit goes to our Human Resources Department, because they've been doing a really good job of filling positions quicker. And so this $3 million is mainly just a historical calculation of what we have seen for both vacancies and turnover, where positions just aren't filled all 12 months of the year, because when someone leaves, it does take some time to fill the position. Sometimes it takes longer than others. When we have turnover, typically when someone leaves, someone coming in usually comes in at a lower pay grade lower salary, because they have less experience, not always, but most of the time. So I don't know how many positions. I just know that's a calculation that our finance department put together based upon historical.
Thank you, Grace.
Amy Farrell.
The consolidation of central support, reduced spending on general expenses, contract supplies, materials, and travel. It appears that is all coming out of central office or centralized services, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And so the supplies and materials, nothing is coming out of the schools?
Correct. Schools'
Okay.
budgets are not being touched.
Okay. How much did we spend on travel this year, this current year? Probably don't have that in front of you.
Off my head, but we do have that, because that was something that we looked at when we went back to make reductions in our travel lines. We went back to look, okay, how much was actually spent in 2016-17, and that would, because that would be our last full fiscal year. Took that number and reduced it by 10%. But we have that number. I just don't have it off the top of my head.
I would just like to see it when you have time. And the contracts that are being reduced, I'm interested in which contracts we're reducing or eliminating. Again, that may not be something you have tonight, but I'd like to see a list.
Okay. The main one would be the STEAM contract with Discovery Education and maybe others. There's also been some reduction in our district-wide staff development, which affected some contracts. But the majority of those contracted services savings were basically mandated amounts. You need to reduce your contracted services line by such and such so that we can make this budget work, and you just need to go make that work. And so we don't think we've finalized everything at this point as far as which particular vendors. We do know which account budget code line items would be affected and by how much, but I'm not sure we've necessarily finalized exactly what that would mean as far as which contracts, but I can get you what we have.
Okay. And then the contracts are approved by the board over a certain amount. I'm assuming that the contracts do not include all consultants. Is that a separate line than the contracts?
No, typically our consultants, they are contracted individuals, so they really should be, and I believe they typically are included in the contracted services line. And so contracted services should cover, unless something's coded elsewhere, should cover any consulting costs.
So what is the total amount of consulting fees that we are paying in this upcoming year's budget?
I don't have that off the top of my head for
Okay.
this coming budget. I would need someone to help me determine what's a consulting fee and what's just a contracted service, but we can get the total amount for sure.
Okay, because I've asked for this before, but I was given information for the past 3 years, but I have still not received information on this upcoming budget, how much we have in consulting fees. The other information that I've repeatedly requested is I would like a list of all consulting fees earned by MNPS district employees. So.
Okay. And I will say that obviously the contracted services line is being reduced substantially in next year's budget. But remember, this is the local operating budget. There are other budgets, such as the federal funds, Title I, Title II, et cetera, where there are contracted services and consulting fees that would be included there that would not be here. And so I would want to probably include all sources, which I may not have as much knowledge about the federal programs funds.
Okay. I'm interested, I guess, in an apples-to-apples comparison. So you all gave me the consultant fees for the last 3 years. However, those fees were determined, I would like to see an apples-to-apples comparison with this year's budget.
For the 18-19 proposal?
Yes, please.
Mr. Hinton, just to clarify on the request, it would be a challenge for us to give consulting fees for all employees because, for example, you have a teacher who might be, out consulting with a doing tutoring services on the side or things of that nature, and we don't capture that type of information. We could give you the consulting for executive staff and those that are under code need to actually complete the form and communicate if we are doing any consulting work or things of that nature. But for the 11,000 employees, we have building services workers that have, side jobs and go out and do things, and it would be impossible to collect it for all employees, but not impossible for a level of position. So if you are requesting any executive leaders who were doing consulting, that would be easily available to you as we're required to communicate that and put that down. If it were others, we would not be able to accurately get that because people are not required to share that information.
And I'm interested in, I would guess anyone over a principal level position, but I have requested this information several times.
We'll get it to you this week.
Jill.
I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I'm still thinking about the fact that this year we were expecting a student increase, but we actually had a decrease in student enrollment. And we are projecting, again, a slight flat, as you said, student enrollment of about 300. But what happens if, once again, we have a decrease in student enrollment? I just want us to think about not getting ourselves in a situation next year like we're in this year, where we did have the $7.5 million shortfall.
Well, first of all, I'm not projecting any BEP growth funding for next year. So that was the majority of the $7.5 million was that we didn't receive BEP growth funding. So that is not being projected in our revenue numbers for next year. If we actually have enrollment that doesn't come in as projected, then that would be reflected when we go through the fall adjustments, fall enrollment adjustments on student-based budgeting. It would also be reflected in the calculation of the charter per pupil amount because it's based upon total district-wide enrollment as well as enrollment at each of the charter schools. And so all of those would be adjusted on the expenditure side downward if we were actually to receive, if we were actually to have fewer students than we have projected. But the main thing, the main answer is that we are not projecting any BEP growth funding for next year, which was the main cause of the $7.5 million that we're not going to receive in state funding this year.
Thank you.
Are there any further questions? Dr. Gentry.
So I thank all of you and commend all of you for the energy and the time, and I'm sure in the effort that it took to engage in an activity that you never anticipated that you'd have to engage in. But I want to kind of pull the thread on your spades analogy. And so, Dr. Joseph mentioned that, when you're playing spades, you have to play the hand you dealt. You don't get thrown back in. It's not like Scrabble when you can swap out some tiles. You got it, you got to play it. But if anybody in here is a spades player, the other thing you need is a really good partner. Yeah. What you said? What? You got somebody calling you short? Oh my gosh. But I digress. So what I see in the audience today are some darn good spades partners, and I appreciate you all being here. But we're just getting started. So this budget still has to go to council. There are probably some reductions that you heard that didn't make you smile. So we need some help fighting for that. And so I hope that your presence here is just an indication of the support you intend to continue to give to this district, to this superintendent, to our principals and our teachers who are fighting a battle every day on behalf of our kids. And I hope, and it's my goal, and I'm sure the rest of my 8 other colleagues are committed to being good spades partners. being good spades partners. So we just need to remember that even in our looking back on last year and trying to understand, which we should do, right, to make sure we don't find ourselves in a situation where we have to find even more cuts, that all of this is done in the spirit of making sure that we continue to fight the battles ahead of us and we're not fighting the battles behind us. But I will tell you that if we don't become real good spades partners, that reduction in student enrollment is not going to stop. It is not going to stop. Parents are making conscientious decisions,
Yes.
not just about what individual schools they want to put their students in, but the district that they want to be engaged in. And we are in a district that's full of choices, full of choices. And if we are serious and truly still committed to being the #1 choice for parents in Davidson County, we've got to become better spades partners. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Ms. Bugs, would you like to speak? No?
Oh, sure. I just want to acknowledge all the community members that reached out to me, that have contacted us asking questions. My little sister's even in the room, Brittany Bugs. This is me letting you all know that my little sister is applying for a job in MNPS. I know I have to let that be known. I'm not taking any ethics complaints, okay? So just acknowledge that, all right? But we do appreciate community members wanting to be supportive of the process, wanting to be engaged in the process, really asking questions and doing deep dives, making sure that they are getting accurate information. We appreciate you all continuing to support Dr. Joseph as he and his administrative team look to kind of direct us through this really, really complicated budget season. And I just ask that you all continue to support us as we kind of weed through this tension and become that functional board that we know we can be.
Right. Thank you, Christian. I would like to point out that we have 4 council members here with us today. We have Sharon Hurt, who is council at large. And there are 3 council members from my district, and I'm so pleased to have you here. We have Taneka Vircher, Antoinette Lee, the Karen Y. Johnson. Thank you, ladies, for all that you do. We really appreciate you taking the time to come out today, because we know that we can sit here all day and we can play around this budget as much as we have, but you're the ones that are going to make that final decision for us. So thank you for coming in to find out and hear from us exactly what's happening.
When you're done. Are you done?
Yep, go ahead.
Just to reiterate my colleagues' comments, we have our meeting before the budget, before the council next Wednesday, May the 23rd, my birthday. So I would really encourage all the support that we can garner as we go before the council. If we could, have your support there, it would really mean a world to us. Thank you.
I'll come together now. I gotta go to dinner.
We have my beautiful, supportive council ladies coming to the podium. We're going to give them some time to speak.
Thank you, Chair Thais Hunter, Madam Chair Anna Shepard, esteemed honorable board members. We made a special trip here this evening, even though we have a regularly scheduled Metro Council meeting. And as elected officials, we are requesting 3 minutes to make a statement to you from our body.
We're standing here today on behalf of the Minority Caucus, specifically focused this evening on the egregious and inflammatory allegations outlined in a frivolous complaint by Jill Sparing, a Metro Schools board member, against our esteemed school director, Dr. Sean Joseph. What is truly amazing to us is that this complaint came from a board member who was not in attendance at said meeting. The board meeting member has taken the context of what was shared and has negatively emphasized what was not the intention. Not only is this inflammatory, it seems racially motivated. Perhaps more appropriately stated as culturally and generationally insensitive. Yes. We believe that Dr. Joseph has the right to motivate employees, build morale, and communicate with his staff in a way that best fits his role as a leader and the audience to which he speaks. If an employee has a problem, that information should be reported to the proper chain of command, as any concern should follow. This school board voted him in, and we embraced him to lead. If this were a CEO of another top company, there would not be the same type of scrutiny. Subsequently, this should have been perceived as a teaching moment for board members to experience music in a different light. Rap can be described as a spoken word with music. Culturally, we as African Americans get hyped on the beat. The music first, then the words. Many athletes have been lauded to get hyped on Pearl Jam, Kid Rock, Metallica, and others. Focusing on Dr. Joseph's use of music has been blown completely out of proportion. That was stated by Metro Nashville Education Association President Eric Huth. Instead of finding things that Dr. Joseph may have done that offended a few, we believe it's more important to stand up for all of the positive things and work that he has done. For example, Metro Schools' measurement of academic progress showed that there's been positive academic growth among students in all but 5th grade since the beginning of the year. Most impressive is the growth that has occurred since this August, and it is exceedingly the national norm in growth in almost every grade level. We are so divided. We are so divided, and this is the impetus of our problems and this attack. Our city has been through so much this year. Instead of us continuing to tear down each other, we need to find ways to lift each other up. In fact, we need to be consistent, compassionate, and caring for each other, for our children, for our community, and for our city. Love thy neighbor as thyself. Amen. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Council Lady at Large Sharon Hurd. I just want to say and recognize those that came and answered the call. Will you please stand and show our Director of Schools your support to let him know that he does have a community that supports him, that he does have a community that appreciates him, that he does have a community that loves him. We need to get back to the focus on talking about achievement for these students. Everything else is a distraction. For council members to have to come down here, to have to rally this community over something that's nonsensical. If you don't know, ask. You have black school board members right here. Pick up the phone, call them. They would have educated you with a smile. We got the work of the city to do. We got, this budget is very delicate, as Council Lady Hurt just already emphasized. Our city is at a pivotal point. Your actions divided the city, just so that you know, over a song. When we've had much larger scandal here in the city, much larger. What happened does not warrant what you did. And that's what we're stating on the record. He has a community that loves him. He has a council that loves him and going to support him. Not just him, but the school board too, the teachers and the staff and so forth. But enough is enough. Get back to the business. We can't keep coming down here doing this. Get back to the business of focusing on student outcomes. When you get back to that, parents won't leave the district. They'll come back.
That concludes the 9th Budget and Finance Committee meeting. Thank you all for your engagement in this process. Again, we will have our final meeting on May 22nd, and we will meet with these beautiful ladies at the council on May 23rd. Thank you.
This has been a service of the Metro Nashville Network. If you would like to see this presentation again, or for more information about this and other programs, visit nashville.gov.